that way. But there's also, I put on my metrics glasses, all my analytics glasses for all those nerds out there.
The Thomas Bryant jockstrap, get him out of here!
How does that not indicate to you, like, hey, sometimes, like, these prospects are awesome?
Donald, get back! They snatched that chain, boy. Get back! What's all gonna do about it? Popeye snatched that chain. Get back! We want that snack wrap. They got 3 flavors. Y'all got 1. Get back!
Hey everybody, welcome into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network presented by FanDuel. I'm Ryan Tyler, he's Jack O'Rourke, he's Nick Pidone, he is Rob Watson. Good morning, gentlemen. Monday, December 15th, 2025. Crazy, we're only 10 days away from Christmas. Tis the season, I guess, for another Browns loss as they lose 31-3. Question off the rip, guys. Does it get any worse than this?
December in Berea, welcome to a familiar spot for the Cleveland Browns as no changes will be made. Got word that Kevin Stefanski Zoom will be held at 1 p.m. Eastern, so the official sign that nothing is changing again for a team that hasn't changed anything over the last 2 years, and the product on the field is a result of that.
He's a marked man. You take the small positive in this is that we know everything's got to get cleaned, and I'm sure we'll get into it, but just every week, him, the special teams, just everything, the operations, they prove again and again every week why it's just the absolute joke. He's checked out. He knows he's gone after the year. I think it's useless to keep him in the building, but they're going to do it anyway because that's just what we do. We don't change our ways, but at least we know come that last game, right after, probably 24 hours after we probably somehow lose to like the 4th-string QB on the Bengals, everyone will be gone. We'll be starting over, and we can start figuring out what we're going to do next year.
Yeah, it feels like there's only just like so much breath you can waste on it in general at this point, guys. Like you know, after the trade deadline comes and goes, like you're not really going to make any vast roster improvements. All you can really have is injuries. It was a decrepit, bad, terrible NFL roster before the trade deadline. You didn't go out and trade for a bunch of things, so it wasn't going to get better. And yeah, you just got to ride out the stretch. Like there is no point in firing Kevin at this point, but like it's really funny to me to see when some people freak out after these games because they're like, what was going to change for like in perspective, what really can change from week to week that much?
I think it's just how it looks, and I think it's like the lack of preparation. I think it's the fact that like you can get mad about each and every week because they find new ways. They literally invent new ways to embarrass themselves.
I've never seen on a NFL broadcast them say that they had the wrong plays in the wristband. I've genuinely never seen that in my entire life. So whoever is in charge, I know that's Kevin doesn't.
Well,
like,
how many
hand it to
wristbands
the
do you even
kid.
have? There's got to be a finite amount of
like,
wristband sets, right?
I've never seen that. We had. I forgot what the dude said, but it was like we had ran like 5 plays and we had like 3 or 4 penalties.
Even prior to this, Rob, let me run through this. So prior to the wristband, you had lost the game before they even realized that the quarterback was wearing the wrong wristband. Yep. They start the game off with a 52-yard kickoff return. Normal. Bubba Ventrone is allowed back into the facility. I don't know how. Now the defense stands tall. The Bears punt, and it's down at the 1. The Browns lose the challenge and burn a timeout.
For no reason.
However, there's a false start penalty, and then there's 12 men on the field. So the Browns are penalized twice.
2 inches.
The Browns are penalized twice before they even have an opportunity to run their second play on offense. Then,
well, we ran it 3 straight times.
They had to punt from their own end zone. And it was returned with this special team
for another like 30 yards, right? Or 20,
in the Browns' territory, and the Bears quickly score. So, like, before they even realize that Shedeur has the wrong wristband on, you're playing from behind.
Because then he came back out, and I think we got a delay of game because that's when they were like, something's going on with the wristband. They can't get the play calls in, and then another dead drive, punt. They come back down, score 14-0. With like 7 minutes left in the first quarter, game effectively over.
It was like I met Rob and his girlfriend for lunch during the game yesterday, and it was 14-0 when you guys got there.
Yeah.
Like the game
As I was sitting down, DJ Moore
was
was streaking across the end zone with Miles Harden 10 feet behind him for a casual, just nice completion. Tyson Campbell, yeah, we're starting to see what it is. We're starting to see why Jacksonville got rid of him. Grant Delpit and him just get absolutely destroyed in the end zone in a play where it's
Delpit got rocked on the one pick play in the first quarter by Luther Burden, who's like 6 foot tall.
It's a lot going on.
Here's the
boys,
thing, Ryan,
man.
and to answer your question about
a good player,
Ryan, about like if this is the lowest that it's ever been, I'd go out there and I'd venture to say that it is, because at least before you could say, well, the guys haven't quit. You could look at the veterans. You could be like, there's still a little fight. Now that's all completely lost. Like, this is a completely dead situation. It's a completely dead organization, and nobody wants to be a part of it. Like, you could see by the injury list, going to play a road game here in week 15 for a 3-win team in freezing temperatures. Nobody got up for that game, and the team that they did field, they didn't care. And after the game, you listen to Kevin Stefanski, you listen to even Shedeur Sanders. Kevin doesn't want to be a part of this anymore. Can we call it for what it is? So just do him a favor and get him out of here. Why does he have a job this morning? Why is Kevin Stefanski employed this morning? Because they have this organizational philosophy, because they're smarter than the other 31 NFL teams that say we don't fire coaches mid-season because there's nothing to gain from that. Why? Because there's certainly something to lose from that. Mason Graham to me yesterday in that late second half looked like a defensive tackle that has mailed it in. So there you go. You put the stink onto this Andrew Berry rookie class that he nailed all these picks. Did he? Because now these dudes have the same old losing Browns culture on them, because they see that nobody else cares. And when nobody else cares, it's real easy to look at yourself in your own situation and say, why should I care?
Just cash that check, man, week to week. Hey. We employ all them guys. I get to see Judkins run up the middle into 18 dudes every play. Well, now Travion Henderson is just back out there in New England. How the tables turned on that. We got the artist formerly known as Jerry Jeudy, just doing his thing. Last week, man, it was all fun and games, bro. Like it was so great when there were no expectations on him. He came in and Jameis gave him 18 targets every game, and he had his little 1,000-yard season. And then we got on you, bro, and you finally made one play all year, and you stood up and I'm blocking out the haters. I'm like that. You revert back to what you've always been, and it's been just a guy. Everything Steve Smith ever said about you was correct. You're just a guy. You're not a number one. You're a bum.
Well, here's the thing, too, Rob. And then we've got these Andrew Berry apologizers that want to point at this one draft. Here's a number for you. $22 million guaranteed. That's what Jerry Jeudy's on the hook for. Leave the quarterback thing alone. You owe Jerry Jeudy $22 million.
A slot receiver.
Tevin Jenkins went down, and I don't even know who replaced
Dillinger.
him at right guard. Some guy named Dillinger? What? I thought he was interviewing for the Michigan head coaching job. This is what Andrew Berry has done. It's a completely failed product. It's a failed roster. And 6 years removed from when these jokers were hired, there's literally no debate that this entire state of affairs is in a way worse spot. The nerds ruined everything, and it's time for them to all go.
It's one of those beatdowns where you wake up and you see about every 10 minutes a new stat, just how bad that game was for the Cleveland Browns. The one that I just saw, this is from Aaron Schatz. He says, I thought the Raiders were bad, but the Cleveland Browns, 31-3 loss to the Bears yesterday, came out as the 11th worst single game since 1978 by DVOA standards, for those that don't know. I didn't either. I just Googled it. Defense adjusted value over average. It's an NFL metric that evaluates team and player efficiency by comparing every play's success to the league average for that specific situation. 11th worst in NFL history since 1978.
Analytics, though, that's what we do. We do numbers here. We do math. We beat them with our brains, not with our players. And we're still finding historic ways to be the worst at our math equation. So let's just rip up the spreadsheets. Let's throw them in the garbage, and let's get some football guys in here. I'm not anti-data. I'm not anti-analytics. I'm not. And you guys know that. I send our big play viewership report to the entire company every single week because I care about data and I care about metrics. But these guys, clearly, there's a disconnect between their data and whatever they're studying and winning results on a football field. It just doesn't make sense. They're inventing new math equations to lose these games.
Maybe that was all the plan all along. Maybe that's just what we need to do. Just accept that the nerds wanted the number one pick. This is what we did. And we're going to draft the ultimate nerd with the number one pick, too, to carry us into the new era. Maybe that was the plan all along, man. The revenge. The revenge of the nerds.
Revenge of the nerds, baby.
But I think pairing,
I want my franchise back.
I think pairing nerds when they're players can be good as long as the coach maybe isn't the same way. Like, I like that pairing. The nerd who's kind of analytical, and one that's actually on the field playing, dissecting defenses. And obviously, we'll talk about Fernando Mendoza, who I'm a fan of. I know we don't know if we're in the position to take a quarterback. We'll get to that discussion here in a minute. But let's go back to Kevin Stefanski. We talk about Haslam not firing a coach in season. Nick, you always bring up he wants to shake off that quick to hire, quick to fire label. Is that what's going on right now? And I know there's maybe you can say not much to gain by firing a coach in season. But what about sending a message to the fans and, more importantly, to that locker room and the players?
Dude, I'm done with the whole there's nothing to gain. Because here's my opinion on this. And it's always been my opinion on this. Because I played sports. You either coach it or you allow it. And right now, they're allowing it. And by letting Bubba Ventrone walk back into that facility 12 weeks ago, they allowed it. So now, and it's crazy to say, but if I'm a guy on the defense, on the defensive line, which now seemingly can't stop the run at all, and I see, complete special teams letdown week in, week out, I'm looking at that situation and say, you know what? If that guy's safe in his job and he's letting this chronic meltdown happen, not just every week, but multiple times every week throughout a game, then what am I to care? I know I'm safe in my job. I'm Mason Graham. I was the number 5 overall pick in the draft. They're going to let Bubba Ventrone, Ray Ventrone, back into the facility. I'm Teflon Don. They can't touch me.
Because it's genuinely silly to say there's nothing to gain. Because all that would do was just give us more time to figure out who we're going with next. Like, why let him stay there if you know he's gone? I get it, because we would have to fire the head coach and the interim head coach. But we're so bad that the people running the show should probably be out of the door. What do you think? That's kind of how it works. Like, if the head chef in the kitchen can't produce a good meal, he should probably be on the street. Like making soup kitchens and stuff. Like if you're the offensive guru and we're putting up 3 points, our quarterback has been our leading rusher 2 weeks in a row. Our running back that we took in the second round is averaging like 3 yards a carry. We have no one who can catch the ball, and we can't generate anything. And when you give up the play calling, you can't even run the operations right. We still have all these penalties. What? Nobody can tell me anything at any point. And I've been the fire Stefanski guy for so long now. But now it's just painfully obvious. But I still wake up and I see people say, man, like, no, there's a good coach in Kev. He's got to stay here. He's going to get it turned around. And how is he going to get anyone fired up and anything turned around when all he does is stand there and look like this?
It's hard, man.
Don't worry, he'll
who is that firing up? Who?
Don't worry. After the game, he said, "There he goes again. It's on me. We'll get that coached up.
We've been trying to get it coached up for 4 years." I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
Last thing before we flip to Shedeur Sanders, guys, is I'll talk about the defense. Is this just simply a case of them packing it in, them realizing they have no counterpart help, whether it's offense or, God, this special teams unit is absolutely abysmal? Are they just packing it in? Is Myles Garrett's last thing just getting these sacks, and then it's going to kind of be one of those, let's get to the offseason, I need a break, I'm done with football? Because, again, DeAndre Swift almost goes for 100 yards, 18 carries, 98 yards. Caleb Williams throws for 242 yards, 2 touchdowns. That one play, I just give more credit to Caleb, even though they probably should have at least deflected that ball. I don't know how you fit that in there. DJ Moore just high-pointed it. That's a generational throw right there, like for a quarterback to make that. Is the Browns defense just simply packing it in?
Remember when I gave you those 2 scenarios before we played the game, and I said they're either going to bounce back or we're going to see it just completely. We're going to see everyone run all over. We got that. They've mailed it in. Watch all the encroachments, all the people jumping off sides. It is all about getting Myles Garrett 1.5 sacks now. They don't care if they give up 1,000,000 yards on the ground. They don't care if they can't defend a pass. They won't defend a pass when Miles Harden is literally our number 2 cornerback. And I don't even know. Who did we? Avery was in the slot?
Avery.
I don't know his first name. God bless you, because you shouldn't be in that position. That is all everything is about now. We are scheming up 1.5 sacks. That's all the whole season has come down to, is 1.5 sacks. And if we don't get that, this would become the absolute worst season in football history if we somehow couldn't even do that right.
It's okay, because Miles at least picked up Duolingo and he taught himself Japanese. So.
Yeah, that was dope. I was going to say, it reminds me a little bit of the second half of last year when it was just like, you can't get a first down like at all. Like if you're just 3 and out, the defense gets so damn tired too, or even like whatever on a day when your effort's not even maximized, like as things roll out, you're down 14, like you're already not giving full effort. Then you're being sent out there every 5 seconds. Like our line's a bunch of turnstiles. Like you're not like, I mean, there's no way to move the football forward. Like that shit's gonna happen with the defense.
KT Levinson spent more time on his ass.
He was on his ass so much
than he did on his feet. Genuinely,
it's like you remember the play.
And again,
like,
God
2 weeks
bless
ago?
that kid too, because he shouldn't be in that position. Like I'm killing all these players. There's a couple people who really deserve it. Like Jerry Jeudy, you deserve it. But like Dillinger, Leviston, whoever we bring in when Robinson gets hurt and stuff like that happens, like when Malachi Corley has to play 80% of the snaps, he actually wasn't terrible. Isaiah Bond made a couple plays. But like all these guys are being forced to be like actual NFL players when they are at best rotation guys. And that's the role some people play. And it's just unfair that we come out here and we expect product, but you're putting all these people who just aren't up to snuff out there and expecting something to happen. And then just praying, just closing your eyes and saying, nope, we'll make it. I'm so smart, I could scheme it. It could work. I did something once with Joe Flacco 2 years ago, even though Callahan and Alex Van Pelt were running everything for me, and now I've been absolutely exposed the last 2 years. It's the same stuff every game, bro, but and if you can't see it, you're not a fan. I know there's a lot of new people around and like they're getting used to it because Shedeur and he's brought all his fans and all this stuff. But for the people who have really been here that still have that Stockholm syndrome, that you see this and you seriously think there's an answer in that building, you're an absolute buffoon. If you seriously believe that, you're a literal buffoon. You have no conscience if you believe that. If you genuinely do.
I also think too, dude, it's just so crazy. Like in a year where Burrow is down most of the start of the year, the AFC, like no one really takes a clear stranglehold on it. Mahomes ends up getting hurt. The Chiefs are knocked out. Like that. I mean, not that the dynasty's over, but it's taken a pause at a damn minimum. Like if you don't make that Deshaun trade, like the picks you'd have right now, we talk about all these guys who like shouldn't be in these positions, be starting in the NFL. Like it's just such a bad look in the mirror for Browns fans.
Well, where do we go from here? That's the question that pops into people's minds when your team is 3-11 and just trying to pack this thing in and get to the offseason, start scouting, getting ready for the NFL draft. Is the quarterback of the future on our roster, or is he going to be drafted in April when that draft kicks off in Pittsburgh? Talk about that before. I got to tell everybody about our friends over at Garage Beer. Garage Beer comes in just 2 flavors, classic light lager as well as that classic lime. No frills, no bitterness, no IPAs. It's just beer the way you want beer to taste, and that is beer-flavored beer. So scan that QR code now or go give their website a visit, drinkgaragebeer.com, to find local retailers who sell garage beer near you. Again, that is drinkgaragebeer.com. All right, guys, Shedeur Sanders, 18 for 35, 177 yards. 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, sacked 5 times in this contest, 8.2 QBR, 30.3 rating. Put it like this. Is it possible to evaluate Shedeur Sanders, anything he does, with that offensive line and that offense?
I mean, he played a bad game. If anyone got out and you said he didn't, not honest with yourself, not a fan of the team, fan of the player. He played a bad game. Were there some good throws? Were there still flashes? Yes. That's one thing you could say about him that's happened every game. There's been flashes. I don't think you could find out much more about the kid in this situation, and that's sad. And that's applied to that applied to Dylan, but you didn't see the flashes even when he was out there. You see that there's something there. There's still a lot that needs to be worked on at times, still holding the ball. But I mean, when you got certain people out there running routes, there's not a lot of options to throw to. But it's gonna be you've scuffed it, like I've said, the whole season. You're now having games against Buffalo, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati to figure out if you're going to move forward with this kid. You're doing that with Isaiah Bond as your leading receiver on 2 whole catches. 2 whole catches. Malachi Corley seriously in the slot and Jerry Jeudy dropping passes. Like, it's a beautiful throw. Completely wasted by a guy we paid $41 million guaranteed to. You got him playing behind, I don't even know, on the O-line. I shouldn't look at Jack when I see people go out onto the field and say, who is that? About 4 different players starting the second half of a football game at this point in the season. Like, I shouldn't be saying that.
I had never seen number 38, like, the running back, my whole entire life.
I shouldn't be saying that every play, who is that guy? Like, Brendan Bates shouldn't be getting mad reps. He shouldn't be running that many routes for our football team. And you've put yourself in the worst situation because now, I mean, if he plays bad like that again and again, like we get another game or 2 like that, they're not going to do it. And you can't blame him. You can't, because regardless of the situation, he needed to be better. You got to protect the ball. But in the situation where I think he plays a great game yesterday, what's that? Like 210, 1 touchdown, no picks at best. But even you still get a pick because your receivers can't catch. No one could create space. Like, he's got to force it a little bit. Did you want him to sit back and just check it down every play? Because that's what we just yelled at Dylan Gabriel for. Like, he's got to try to throw it down the field. the overall situation's just terrible, man. It's just where we are.
Shedeur Sanders ranking out of 44 quarterbacks who have logged at least 165 snaps. This one's from Lima. EPA plus CPOE. He's 44th, whatever that means. I don't know that metric. Dead last. Adjusted EPA per play. I know that one. Dead last at 44th. EPA per play. Dead last. Success rate. Dead last. CPOE. Dead last. Completion percentage. 43rd out of 44. Nick, can we read anything into this?
Look, like, Patrick Mahomes had a bad offensive line. He lost the Super Bowl, and now he's hurt now for the year. Everybody wants to win in the trenches until it's time to win in the trenches. And when you have no offensive line, this is going to be the product. And I think the offensive line is a much more glaring issue than even the receivers. And the receivers are the most laughable group in the National Football League. So that just goes to show the current state of affairs. Like, it's an adventure every single drop back. I'll just continue to repeat this because, we wasted 5 weeks in the middle of the season with Dillon Gabriel. I would have liked to use those 5 weeks and all of the energy behind the scenes into Shedeur, right? Because Dillon Gabriel's not an NFL quarterback. Shedeur Sanders is. Now, Shedeur Sanders right now, to me, looks like a guy that has a lot of raw tools, a lot of raw ability, and is certainly talented, but he's probably not ready to be like an every week NFL starting quarterback. However, maybe he would be ready if he had, I don't know, maybe more than 3 weeks of practice with the guys that he's out there with. So this entire situation, it was bungled from the start. Either Kevin Stefanski or Andrew Berry was going to get fired when they let them both have their ways. In the 3rd round, they let Kevin have his way and draft the supercomputer and Dillon Gabriel. And in the 5th round, they let Andrew Berry have his way and draft Shedeur Sanders. So you knew somebody was going to walk out of that situation looking like an ass. And at the end of the day, it was all of them. It was both of them. The whole idea was screwed up from the start. It never made any sense. We told you then that it never made any sense, and they were setting both of these kids up to fail. It did. They both failed, and here we sit trying to figure out if you could go into next season with either of them. I don't know. It depends who the GM is. It depends who the coach is and what they want to do.
You got to get rid. It's all down to that coach hire. That's going to determine it it's all about who you want and what you're willing to go with. If you got this top candidate that you say is the guy, but he's saying he needs his quarterback, that's probably what they're going to go with, and that's probably what they're going to do. Like it or not, whether I think it's the smart decision, whether I think that's what's best to overall make the team better in the immediate, it's coming down to the staff moves they make, because that guy's going to come in and he's going to say, this is the plan, and you got to stick with it if that's your guy. And like Nick said, you ultimately wish, because you would have a better idea on Shedeur if you would have got to see him play early in the season when we still had most of the team healthy, most of the guys at least still into it. If you got to see what he would have looked like in Minnesota, if you got to see what he would have looked like versus the Jets in games that still mattered, in an early game against Pittsburgh, all that you would have loved to see. But now it's up to 3 games at the back of the season with what is almost our practice squad team at this point against teams that, as one that's got something to play for and is going to take over your stadium. But by the time you try to make this evaluation, there's going to be more questions than answers, no matter what.
And we said that at the time. We said that at the time about Shedeur, that the sample size was always going to be too small, and
because you tried to fit in an extra quarterback.
And it's not like they purposely sabotaged him or any of this stuff. This is just what the Browns do. This is just who the Browns are. So, for the Shedeur people that are out there that, clung on to this absolute shit show, I said last night on the postgame show, I'm sorry. This is just what he got signed up for when they wrote his name on the draft card and they traded up to get him. It's just, this is what we do to everybody, fair or not. And it's not fair because we literally predicted that this was going to happen in the preseason when they had 5 quarterbacks. We were like, they will put Shedeur in the game when the offensive line is completely broken down, when the receivers are completely, we predicted that this was going to happen and it came true. It's the most, the Browns are the most readable book that there's ever been. You know the pages that are, the words that are on the page before your eyes even turn it.
You got to that point, I was like, well, before you do the 3rd one, what did I say before the drive started? And I love the kid. I said, I know where this is going. Interception coming, bro. Like you said, the misery is following. If you've really been a fan, if you're not a new wave guy, if you've been watching this team your entire life, and there's people who've been watching it for 4 times as long as me that have still stuck around, the misery will never end, and you can pattern it at this point.
It's like if you're going like roller coaster effect, like what was the most likely outcome this week after Jerry Jeudy did the block out the haters and the noise? He's either going to drop a huge pass on like a 4th down if the game was close, or he was going to hand a touchdown or hand an interception to a Bears player in the end zone.
We'll probably have a much more clear look at what the Browns' plan will be once we see what happens with Stefanski and Andrew Berry, whether one of them goes, whether both of them goes, at least maybe not a clear insight, obviously, but maybe more of a gut feeling, because you think, right, a completely new regime that would maybe more than likely signal you trading up for either Mendoza or staying there for a Dante Moore.
There's no
if
guarantee
he's there,
you don't got that top pick.
or if you keep Andrew Berry, obviously Stefanski's still gone. Does that make you more inclined to, if you're Haslam, sit down in these head coach meetings with Andrew Berry to really want to find that guy that's going to come in, wow you, and say, this is how I'm going to make it work with Shedeur? Are you going to cloud your judgment viewing other candidates who their suggestion would be to completely start over, gut this thing, draft a quarterback in the first round? But if you're Jimmy Haslam and you keep Andrew Berry, do you think you'd be more inclined to find, like I said, that candidate that's going to come in and wow you with this presentation of how they're going to make it work with Shedeur on the team?
Ryan, so I've got Tankathon pulled up right here, and I want this stated December 15th because now the race to the bottom is officially
we're gonna
on.
have a top 2 pick, bro.
Here's the thing. You're going to need number 1. Because nobody in this draft or next has more ammunition than the New York Jets. So if the New York Jets fall in love with Fernando Mendoza, they've got you beat. They've got you beat. They beat you at your own game because they played money ball at the NFL trade deadline when they flipped, their entire defensive roster for 3 first-round picks. Then they beat you, by the way.
Yep. On some calm.
We should jump them because of that.
They can give a king's ransom to move up if it's the Giants, if it's Tennessee. They can make the move that you can't because maybe
the Jets picks. And that's been the narrative, and I understand why. He's about to win the Heisman. Obviously, we'll see what happens with the college football playoff, but who's to say in a couple months when this whole thing wraps up, like Dante Moore isn't the number 1 projected.
I'll stamp it right now. You'll have a shot to draft one of the 2 without having to trade up. I think we're going to have a top 2 pick because I think we lose the next 3. The Chiefs with Mahomes now getting hurt play some of the teams that are ahead of us.
They play the Raiders, yeah.
And the Raiders and the Giants play each other.
Yeah, so there's
on the Athletic today they said if we lose out, I think it might have been independent of some of the other results, but I think if we lose out, it would be around a 33% chance we get the first pick.
I think it's without a doubt we're gonna have 1 or 2. And so you go into those meetings, and I don't care. I don't know if it's about the plan. I think you gotta if Andrew Berry's still the guy, because I hope there's someone to help guide Haslam. Because Lord, if we fire both of them, get ready for the absolute worst. If we're going into those meetings, Andrew Berry needs to be serious. You need to hire the best coach, regardless of plan. Don't limit it to if they love Shedeur. Don't limit it to I need to have a coach that's going to do whatever with his top draft pick. Get the best coach, follow his plan, move into a new era. It's time to wipe the slate clean, regardless of who he wants. There's still it's all it'll be clear at the end of the season when we know what pick we have. At 4, I think the move would not be to trade up because we have to replace an entire O-line and somehow draft 2 competent receivers and probably a corner and maybe a safety.
And that Jaguars pick is currently 28th.
It could be in the second round.
We have to do all of that and people want a quarterback. So it's I don't know.
And we have negative $30 million in
hear me out. If we did get 1, would you not trade it for the extra picks? To get more players.
I thought about that when Nick brought it up a second ago. Even if
what do the Jets have to offer?
If Mendoza's not that far above Moore on your board,
Yeah, could you drop back to like 3
and then
still get
another?
So then, okay, let me ask you guys this.
That's a broken philosophy. It is a broken philosophy because Football 101 would tell you if your quarterback's there, you call your shot and you take him. That's what John Dorsey did with Baker. That's what John Dorsey did with Mahomes.
There's the element though of what if it's another pick? Is another pick in the top 10 and Dante Moore?
What are the Jets' picks this year? Do they have 2 firsts this year?
No, their 2 firsts are next. No, they
right
do
now
have,
they'd have 5 and 18
yeah,
in the
5
first
and
round.
18.
If you get 1 and they offer you 5 and 18, so now you have
5,
5,
18,
18 and 32,
and the Jags pick.
which will probably be around 28.
Yeah, something like that. Some crazy.
No, they're a first round out. It'll be
For
like 20.
3 first-round picks, and this will all come down to if they have a guy they love. Are you willing to bet on that quarterback versus
Here's the
3
thing.
cheap pieces you're going
I'm
to need?
sick of
moving
hypothetical names on cards. I want a guy. That's going to come in and actually play football for my team rather than trading for picks or rights to some players we think are the projected next picks. And I know that's not the way you can always operate because you have to be smart and you have to play chess. It's not checkers. It's chess. In the NFL, it is. I understand that. But at some point, I'm so sick of the hypotheticals. I want my guy. And you mentioned John Dorsey going out to get his guy. I don't know if Fernando Mendoza is the guy or not. I don't. But I'm sick of these, and I know you are too. Obviously, we all are. Sick of these. We'll be good in 2 years. We'll be good in 3 years. Stack all these picks. So, and also,
we're not going to be good in
right.
3
No,
years.
that's what I'm saying. That's the. Well, just
There's
wait.
a bad team taking the
So
dome for
if the
first
Jets,
time.
2 years
the
away
Jets are
from
number
being 2
one.
years away.
Yeah.
The Jets are the number one
Perpetually.
pick. They elect to take Fernando Mendoza. Is that the wrong pick in the eyes of those that would want to trade back if you're the Browns or not take a quarterback? Because the Jets are just as desolated as we are. Sure, they have maybe a little more draft capital now because they departed ways with Sauce and Quinnen and other people. But so then the Jets would be making the wrong decision in your guys' opinions by taking him number 1 overall? Because are they not just devoid of talent as much as the Cleveland Browns have a shaky owner in Woody Johnson and don't have a head coach, just like the Cleveland Browns probably won't?
The Jets have Garrett Wilson and a rookie tackle that's played amazing this year. So no, I'm not going to say we're in the
Who was
same
taken
spot.
behind Dylan Gabriel, right?
I'm not going to say that. So we're in an all-time bad spot, man. And I hate to play scared here, but I'm going to hedge a little and say if we go all in on that guy and sacrifice filling holes, we're just bringing that guy in to say the same thing about him next year and then have this same talk at the end of the season next year.
Yeah, watch him get killed 15
about if
times
we
a
need
game
to
and throw
draft a
no one.
quarterback. And then it'll be back to the talks of, are we giving up on the kid too soon? Which we probably would be, because he would be set up to fail behind this NFL Europe type of team, this XFL type of team, this Canadian Football League type of team that nobody could come in and quarterback
Diego
except
Pavia.
Jesus Christ himself, 2 wins. It would just be the same thing, and I'm sick of that
left tackle.
cycle. I'm sick of it.
All right, man. Well, it is quite the decision to make. We'll obviously be talking about this for the next,
10 years.
6
Till-
months.
However
Until
long,
August, basically.
however
6
long
months.
this company
Yeah, every draft.
stands, we will have this same talk every offseason.
All right, I want to talk about some of the other storylines around the NFL after 15 weeks in the league. We'll go through some of these comments real quick, though. The people watching on YouTube, Killer Nation, is basically saying the same thing. We don't have enough talent. You need to build around Shedeur. Bree Gal, Browns are crazy. Why try to get a new quarterback when you don't have the team to back them? You need more than a guy. Bro, build around 12 these rookies we have right now. Without an offensive line, no quarterback will be good for us. Everybody. I don't know if they're just Browns fans, Shedeur fans, welcome either way, but it all seems the same sentiment. Browns aren't good enough to take that quarterback.
Hey, one and the same. We're all Browns fans and Shedeur fans.
I would be on it if there was that guy in the class, but I don't see that guy. Now they're gonna hype someone up to be that guy. By the time we get to the draft,
Bro,
generational. There will be 2 or 3 of them.
Mendoza can have
by the time
combine
we
Three
with
get
those
to
generational
interviews.
quarterbacks in one
You
class.
can't miss.
Diego Pavia, generation.
It'll be there.
The best 5'8"
From what
quarterback
I've
of all
seen,
time.
I'm just not buying it on Mendoza. I'm not buying it on Moore. I like more than Mendoza. That's a lot. It's a tongue twister. But I'm just not buying it that one of them's going to come in and in this situation be able to succeed at all.
Mock drafts.
It's
Browns
time.
football.
Dun,
time,
dun,
baby. It's
dun, dun, dun.
Well, other teams are still doing things around the league. Better
Really?
things than our Cleveland Browns. Not such a good thing here. We start, though, the big topic. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes left Sunday's 16-13 loss to the Chargers. That loss also eliminated them from the postseason for the first time in, I think, 10 years. With the torn ACL, obviously, this is bad for the Chiefs. They're going to have to figure out how to retool that offense.
And play football without him next year for a while. Most
We
likely.
never like to see players get injured, especially a guy like Patrick Mahomes, one of the best players we've ever seen take the field. Some pretty damn similarities to Tom Brady, including one on the injury, which I'll get to in a second. That's kind of a scary just parallel between the two quarterbacks. But are we all glad to not see the Chiefs in the postseason this year, guys?
Honestly, I like having the Chiefs in the postseason. Whether you respect the dynasty or you're a hater of the Chiefs, I don't think you can deny that they're good for business and that people are going to watch them and Patrick Mahomes one way or another. I'm a big believer in the best teams making the playoffs and just watching the best teams play each other in the playoffs. no matter what
Don't watch
happens.
the college football playoffs.
Yeah, so I won't be watching the college football playoffs. But yeah, so I would want to see the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs, and I think it sucks for the sport, to be honest. Like, Mahomes is really fun to watch, and he's really polarizing. So I think it's a lose for everyone.
I think it's good to see something new, but seeing him hurt is bad because, like I said, like depending on recovery time, you don't want to rush the guy. I know medicine is advanced, but like when that happened to Brady, he was gone. That was early season though, but you know, he might be gone for like a portion of next year, but obviously I think Mahomes will be back better than ever. And this could be the build to the second half of their career, their second dynasty, much like it was for the Patriots when they come back, retooling, heading in a new direction. Because let's be honest, the ruins of the first 3 rings are here. It's time for them to really start making new decisions. Like Kelsey might retire this season, all type of stuff.
Do you guys think they almost take like a Celtics gap year kind of? Like the Celtics, like they were getting close to the apron. They trade out a bunch of guys, like kind of retool for when Tatum returns next year. Like, do you guys think it'll be like that? Like, I think they need a running back. So, like, I do still think it'd make sense to go J Love if he's there in the middle of the first round. But, like, could it just be, like, trade off Chris Jones' contract, like, things like that in the offseason?
I mean, it all just depends on his timetable for returning from injury and what will be healthy. Because if any year that Patrick Mahomes is healthy, yeah, your window's open.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's how good Patrick Mahomes is. So, I would say
he's got to be out for damn near at least half of next year, right?
Like
Yeah, I don't know.
7 to 8
I don't know
months,
on it.
right?
But Rob, you mentioned Brady's ACL tear. That did happen week 1 of that season for the Patriots. This one obviously comes in week 15 for Mahomes, but both quarterbacks tore their ACL in a season in which it was their 9th season. They were both coming off a Super Bowl loss. So a lot of parallels there between Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, including Super Bowl wins. We'll see what Mahomes does in the back half of his career. Other news, Micah Parsons, another torn ACL, guys. What is going on? The Packers got absolutely beat up when they played the Broncos. They got the loss. They lost Micah Parsons. Zach Tom went down, their best offensive lineman. Christian Watson dealing with, I believe, a back injury.
They've been hurt
Obviously,
all year,
you lost Tucker Kraft to an ACL earlier this season. Now, Green Bay Packers, Micah Parsons, torn ACL.
Big trades don't work in the NFL.
I was going to say, how much did they give up? How much did the Cowboys get from that? They got some extra picks this year.
Yeah, two
Kenny
picks,
Clark.
and then they flipped one of those picks for Quinton Williams.
Risk adverse might be the new move in the league.
Especially because like you
To
look
just
at
keep your picks.
that move, you look at what the Colts
Sauce
did at the
Gardner
deadline
move.
line for Sauce Gardner. Like big trades don't really work in the modern NFL. Like you stand pat, you draft your guys, and you build it the right way. You can't try to fast track this thing.
Broncos, #1 seed in the AFC as of
Good
now.
for you,
Should they
Ryan.
win out? Yeah.
Look at you.
Thank you.
Look at you.
10 in a row now? Something like that?
Yeah.
They're running
Hey
it
man,
up,
could
bro.
I say something? Could I say the quiet part of the AFC out loud? Like the Patriots and Vrabel, fun story, but it's year 1 of that operation together. Bo Nix and the Broncos, very fun team, very talented team,
10
but
and
I
4
think there's a
Jaguars.
playoff ceiling there. If Josh Allen doesn't make it to the Super Bowl this year, it's getting spooky. Because this is set up perfectly for Buffalo, is it not?
I think.
That
I mean,
team is
people
not
don't. People
good,
also
though.
like don't talk about it nationally a ton. But like, I really do
feel
think
me?
the pressure's on
The
Sean
Bills.
McDermott to eventually get
Yeah.
it done and get to the Super Bowl in Buffalo. Like that, like he's kind of their scapegoat. So I think there's a world where he's out if they lose this year and they don't make it to the Super Bowl.
I don't think they can
They don't
make a
have
shake
the.
with
I
that
don't know,
offense.
man.
Here's the thing.
Yesterday's encouraging though, shit, right?
Here's the
Get
thing
those-
with the Bills, right? It's like
get a get right game next.
I
week.
agree with you, Rob. I've seen Josh Allen on Bills teams that are way better than the one they are right now. But what's the difference this year? The fact is the Chiefs aren't going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The fact the Bengals aren't going to be in
This
the
is
playoffs.
the breakthrough.
And the fact that Lamar Jackson might not get in the playoffs, and even if he
Steelers
does,
could be, yeah.
he doesn't look anything like his MVP form. So this could just be the Bills'
could
year
just
by
be it,
default,
bro.
right? Like this is the 1 year Josh Allen. It kind of seems that way. Josh Allen, if you're going to go ahead and win the Bills a Super Bowl, it almost seems like I don't want to say it has to be this year because he's got so much good football ahead of him. But the outside external things that they can't control are all kind of falling in place
Better
for
keep
Buffalo.
James Cook healthy because that's the last piece on that offense that's worth literally half of a shoelace. The only thing.
Yeah. We go over to the NFC. The Rams right now, they're the #1 seed. They take down the Detroit Lions. Lions probably going to miss the playoffs now, a greater chance than they don't. Have a winning record, but we know with those wild cards, you're going to have 2 from the NFC West, I believe. Whether it's the Rams that win that, then you still have probably at the end of the season a 12-13 win Seahawks team, if not more than that, a 12-13 win 49er team. So the Lions probably looking on the outside in there. Just kind of crazy to think about.
That's a bummer for them. You know, like
Ben Johnson lost, man.
Yeah, and they actually were. That was a phenomenal game. And the Lions showed like plenty of fight for Dan Campbell.
Jameson
Yeah, the
Williams
defense
is a
just
dog.
and then Matt Stafford and Puka Nacua. Like there was a point in that game where I thought Puka was dead. It was just cramps. He resurrected and then just continued to light them on fire. Amon-Ra St. Brown is awesome. Jameson Williams is awesome. Like the NFC. Super Bowl champ probably comes out of the NFC because it's just all of those teams are so good. The Rams are awesome.
They are awesome. Lost Devontae Adams to a hamstring injury. I don't know how long he's going to be out. That sucks.
Yeah, McVay said significant.
NFL leading in touchdown receptions there for Devontae Adams, so that hurts to lose him.
The thing with them, though, sorry to interrupt you, like we talk all the time about Kevin and like being a good coach, like the people who believe like he can get you back to that level. Like you watched it happen with Sean McVay, though, where they had that. I think it was just one down year, maybe not two, but like there was the talks of like
a Browns down.
Do you remember when there was the talks of like McVay retiring young because he just didn't love football? Like they were that's if you genuinely have a good coach who is like a coach of the year, like knows what the fuck he's doing, they're gonna have that down year and then turn it back around. Like he was able to do, and Stefanski wasn't.
That Adams injury is going to be big.
Huge.
You're going to, because I think he has 14 touchdowns this year, and they're like all in the red zone. Like,
threat. He's the red zone
the
guy.
guy.
You're gonna have to run You're gonna have to learn how to run the ball down there, dude.
He's
Like
been
get ready
the
to learn
guy.
Kyron Williams.
What they've been doing? Blake Corum.
They've been.
stepping
No, I was
up
about to say
huge this
Corum's
year.
got mad touch too.
Yeah.
So I mean, it makes you a little more one-dimensional.
Even though he's about to get invested.
Yeah, I was about to say he's about to get the Michigan title taken away.
Did you see Pablo Torres doing work?
Oh,
on them?
Pablo's on it now. Oh,
He's
the
on-
feds
he's
are
on-
coming.
He's on the vacuum thing.
Oh,
the
yeah. Because
vacuum
don't they?
business.
He had like an LLC with Connor Stallions in like Cheyenne, Wyoming, or some shit
Blake
like
Corum
that.
did?
Oh, they were paying him early.
He might have been like in the
like-
same tree company as Kawhi
Oh,
Leonard.
like
you know?
extra NIL on some stuff.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, man.
Oh,
But
last
it's like,
one.
it's like legal. You can go look it up. He is directly a business owner out with LLC with.
for like a
Connor
Connor
Stallions.
Stallions of like a vacuum company in
Yeah.
Wyoming.
They got like stock
That
in Hoover or some
university's
shit.
got to wipe everything clean, bro.
Yeah,
They
Pablo
got to wipe
Torres
it
on
Bill
all.
it.
Belichick.
This is sad, man. Sad.
Last headline, week 15. Phillip Rivers, welcome back to the
Gave him
NFL.
Better
a
than
game,
Dylan Gabriel,
bro.
man. I don't
Seahawks
get it.
fraud. That's the one thing I can say. Seahawks
Can we-
fraud. They gave him a game.
They did give him. They should have. Like, yeah, they
He
had every
threw up
opportunity to win the game.
He threw up a duck.
Yeah, he
on
did.
that last drive, bro.
It's so cool to watch
It
the
was
Phillip
cool to
Rivers
watch
Twilight
Phillip
Hour though. One
play
last
football
time.
His
again.
speech was good at the end.
I
too.
mean, Colts cooked. Sorry, your season's over. That sucks.
and now their future is in hell.
It
Just
is.
go
Like,
back
alright,
to
Lee.
Phillip Rivers next year.
No quarterback.
Yeah,
No
just a
pick.
full give Phillip Rivers
Give him
an
a full
entire
offseason.
Yeah.
That's
offseason.
nasty.
he wasn't
bro.
getting enough reps with the
Yeah,
Lions.
give him some
Are
more
they-
reps.
Yeah.
Are
He
they
wasn't
throw,
getting reps
like,
in the
like,
backyard.
Even factored in the offensive line.
How
Did
do
Quentin
they-
Nelson play?
How do they move forward? Do they go AR next year? Like, is that the option? Because you can't pick a guy. You don't have your pick.
They would
Riley?
love to have Daniel Jones back, but obviously,
nope,
yeah,
not happening.
A Mac
Phillip
Jones.
Rivers-
Could they sign Mac Jones or something?
Anthony
Or, yeah,
Richardson.
he's on their contract.
Kyler
Kyler
was
Murray.
it Kyler? Yeah, like that. That's nasty, bro. That's like how they were 7-1.
Yeah.
7-1, and look at where
And
we
they were
are now.
whooping
They
on
could be
team.
the team that trades for Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Something like
That was also like we all talked about at the time. Like it was a little bit head scratching how deep they went in off of like a
Oh yeah.
9 or so.
I was
week
right
Daniel
here.
Jones legacy.
It
run.
might have
Yeah.
been me and you. I think we were agreeing, or some. It was someone going back and forth. Loeb might have been on the show. Loeb was with me. Awful trade, and it played out just how it was. You
the
go-
Gardner one.
Yeah.
This one, yeah.
all in.
Honestly, because I'm like, why'd you give up that
They
much
went
for
all in
a DB that's been on the
And we
decline
were
for the last 3 years?
halfway through the season.
And
Now
I love
he's-
Sauce, obviously.
Yeah, man. Like
I don't know what it is. Well,
went from-
15 weeks to the NFL season already, fellas. I can't believe. Thankfully, honestly, we're almost over with it with our Cleveland Browns. Nick, why don't we tell everybody about FanDuel and Baylor Parlay and get out of here?
Absolutely, because watching the NFL is a whole lot easier when you've got FanDuel on your side. You know how fast NFL game days move. One big play and everything changes. That's why live betting on FanDuel is truly a game changer, because with FanDuel, you can bet in real time while the game unfolds. So if the score just flipped, you could jump on a new spread or a live money line. If a wide receiver's hitting up, you could bet on his next touchdown score or total yardage. Think a drive's going to stall in the red zone, take a live field goal prop, or just fade that total. Live player props, team totals, drive results, updated spreads, next play markets. It's all there. It's fast, it's fun, and with FanDuel, your live bets move as quickly as the game does. So whether you're riding momentum or fading the hype, FanDuel is going to put you in the middle of every single moment. Visit FanDuel.com/bigplay to download that app and live bet the NFL with us all season long. Must be 21 plus, present in select states. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com.
All right, Jackie, you know what to do. I would like to say, included Jalen Waddle in this parlay. I'm representing the big factor in the fantasy playoffs. I need 14 points to beat
Did
Faf.
I come in last?
I don't know. I need 14 points to beat
Fontana
Faf
did.
and move on to the quarterfinals.
Let's
So,
go Waddle.
Jack, you know what to do.
All right, let's do it. Starting off some 3 picks tonight for Monday Night Football. The Dolphins heading in to the big catch-up battle to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Under 41.5 in this game. First thing we're taking then Jalen Waddle, 50 yards alt receiving total. DK Metcalf under 55.5. And last but not least, your reigning ASUN regular season conference champions, the North Alabama Lions, heading on the road. Big rivalry game against Alabama A&M. The Pride are going to take this one home. Once again, under 41.5 for Dolphins and Steelers. Jalen Waddle, 50 yards. DK Metcalf, under 55.5 yards. North Alabama, money line, go Lions.
You heard it here first. Already, everybody, appreciate you tuning into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. Ryan, Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Nick Pannone, Rob Watson. We'll be back tomorrow, same people, same time. Until then, have a wonderful rest of your day. Real quick, guys, do the Browns win another game this season?
No, stay tuned for Gus tomorrow.
More chats. It's gonna low-key look busting over there.
They're all in agreement about Shedeur Sanders. You don't have enough around him to build to really evaluate him or to be able to, or you have the ability to, but to want to draft a quarterback, 'cause it's all going to look the same. Tell me to go look at Mendoza's numbers versus Shedeur Sanders' numbers at Colorado. So there it is. There
Stay
you have
tuned
it.
for Big Play.
Just remember, we're all in this
Yeah.
together. All right, we'll talk tomorrow. Peace out.